welcome to our online classes. As I know you are doing very well. Here once again your Priyanka Miss is with you for the English class. And of course for today's class I have chosen a topic that's not actually less familiar to you. I think this is very much familiar to you, and you have a lot of classes before, but as far I know, this topic is not been done on in the online classes. So it's there's a huge gap between the class that we had earlier in our school days when our school was open. So I thought it's now time to give it a touch and to go through it once again, as there's a huge gap, I told you. And I know you are quite okay with everything, that every topic you meet, whether it is new for you or whether it is not, it is the older one. So you are quite comfortable with it. You are quite okay with the every items or every particular topics. So today's topic is nothing different. It is one of the easiest, and at the same time it is one of the, I think, most difficult also, as we really don't practice this topic much in the class, or we hardly have time to practice it in the class. So as reminding that thing, I have chosen the class, we have chosen the topic, and it is dictation. Okay, so all that you need is to have a little bit patience, as I always say you, as I always suggest you to have little bit patience, so that you can grab it. I know that you can grab everything, every possible thing within a minute, and you can keep it in your mind for a long time. It lasts for a long time. So I think this time it will be the same. Okay, so dictation. As you know what dictation is, let me tell you first that what is dictation. Dictation means, in a word, if I say, apparently, if I would like to give you the definition, I'm not giving you the definition, I'm telling you in detail, so that you can make a sense or idea about dictation clearly. Okay, dictation means your teacher will say a word or a sentence or a clause. Okay, that means the teacher will utter a sentence. Utter means say, to tell, or to pronounce. Okay, a teacher will utter a sentence or a word. Just listening to that word or sentence, just hearing the sentence or that word, you have to keep it in your mind, and you have to also pronounce it, and then you should note it down. Okay, then you have to recheck it and submit it. That's it. So in this way, your teacher will give you one more sentence. Again, you have to listen it carefully. You have to hearing the carefully this sentence, you have to note it down, or you have to write it down. Okay, then you have to recheck it, and then you show your teacher. So basically, what is dictation? Dictation means giving the order in a category or categorical manner, and listening to that word or listening to your teacher's words, you have to note it down. Okay, so that's the dictation. Now what's the difference? We always and now you may ask me, that means we always listen to your suggestion, we always listen to your advices, we always listen what you say to us, we always try to write what you ask us to write. But why now it is specifically it's named as dictation? Because for this topic you will have just few seconds. Okay, within the few seconds, you need to be much concentrated, so that you after listening once, you can keep it in your mind, and you can save it into your memory, so that you can write it down. So for every dictating lines, you will have at least 45 seconds to 50 seconds. Okay, so in this way you can make it out. Okay, babies. So now see, don't be panicked about that Miss gonna tell you, Miss gonna say you some complicated sentences or complex sentences, or so large or big sentences. Nothing like that. Okay, this will be the very simple sentences. But one thing I should make you remember, that Please listen to it carefully. Be attentive when Miss will utter any word or sentence. Be attentive to that. Okay. If your attention is clear, then you can hear it clearly and you can write it down without making any error. Okay, babies. It won't actually take more time or much time. So to make it successful, to do it successfully, we have to go through some of the instructions. Okay, there are basically, as far I know and I think, there are 6 steps to make it successful. How can you write the dictation, how can you do well in dictation? So you have to follow 5 to 6 steps. Listen carefully. Step number 1 is Miss will utter a sentence. That means I will utter a sentence for you, or I will pronounce a sentence for you. Now step number 2, I will repeat the sentence. See, step number 1, I will pronounce the sentence. Step number 2, I will repeat the same sentence. Step number 3, now it's your turn. Okay, you have to listen to it carefully. Okay, and step number 4, you have to pronounce it. You also have to utter the same line. You also have to say the same line, so that after listening to the word or sentence carefully, you can make it you will be very fluent in pronouncing that line, and so that you can save it into your memory for a long time. Okay, then step number 5 is that you have to write it down. Of course, as soon as you heard this, you have to write it down. Then you go for proofreading. That means you proofread this, you're writing. That means you have to check it, that if there's anything wrong, or if there's anything that you make any error. Okay, that means it is proofreading. That means go through it once again. After writing the line, you have to just give it a revision. Okay, baby. Then the last step is recheck it. Check it what you have just wrote, you have just written. So check it what you just wrote, and check it again just before having any dictating lines next one. Okay, so that's are the steps. I think I have told you the steps. Step number 1, I will utter a line. Step number 2, I will repeat the line. Step number 3, you have to also utter the line. Step number 4, you have to listen it carefully, then utter the line. Sorry. Then the next step is you have to write it down. Then please give it a revision. Then please recheck after before having the next one. Okay, baby. So let us practice some of the new sentences. Okay, let me tell you, there's no specific syllabus for dictation, that from that page I will give you the dictation. Dictation is all about practicing. Okay, as the more you practice, the more you become fluent, the more you will become more used to that dictation. No matter from which page I will give you the dictation, in your dictation test you will have no issues, you will have no problem. Okay, so learn properly, slowly, but exactly and correctly. So let us have a look how the dictation can be. Okay, so look at the board, please. See, our class is on what? Dictation. Dictation means uttering a line and writing it down, okay, in a word. So see, the definition is dictation is the action of giving orders categorically, isn't it? Say Miss will give you the orders, or Miss will give you the instructions, or Miss will utter some of the lines before you, and you have to just imitating it, you have to write it down. As soon as you hear it, you have to note it down. Okay, babies. Now I already told you about some of the steps that you have to go through, or you have to follow for have a perfect dictation test. Okay, now let us try. So please have your exercise book with you, have your pencil and khata with you, so that Miss will utter some of the lines and you can note it down. Okay, babies. So it's dictation, and it's all about uttering the words and lines. For your teacher and for you, it's about writing or noting it down. Okay, so the first line is suppose, now it's for you. Suppose Miss is going to utter a line. This is my dress. Okay, now I repeat the line again. This is my dress. Now you will have 45 seconds. You also please utter the line, this is my dress. Again utter the line, this is my dress. Again utter the line, this is my dress. And as soon you are very used to the, as soon it is safe to your mind, please note it down in your khata that this is my dress. Okay. Okay. Now please give it a revision. Now revise it. See if there's anything wrong. This is written correctly. Is okay. My, am, y, dress, dress. So apparently there's nothing wrong in this line. Is there anything wrong in this line? No. I hope you also you also can't find anything wrong in your lines that you are writing down right now. So this is my dress. Okay. Now the last step is we have to just recheck it. So just go through it again before Miss will before uttering the next line. Okay. So this is my dress. It's done. Now number 2 is there is a doll. There is a doll. I repeat, there is a doll. Now you also repeat the sentence, there is a doll, at least for 3 times. There is a doll, there is a doll. And finally there is a doll. You just write it down, there is a doll. Now the next step is you have to give it a revision. Is there anything wrong in there? No. Is okay, a doll. So that means it's a correct sentence. Okay. Now see, you won't have the lines all the time. For dictation, you can have some of the new words, okay, or some of the very familiar words. So please, it's at the same time it will be helpful for dictation, and along with it, it will be helpful for your spelling. Remember, for dictation it carries 5 marks, and equally it carries 5 marks also for correct spelling. Okay, so if you practice writing in this way, I think it will be helpful for both your dictation and spelling test. Okay, babies. So now if I utter a word, now it was about all this about your sentence. Now I am giving a word. Suppose a word is picture. I repeat, picture. I repeat, picture, and you also repeat the same word, picture, and write it down. Picture. Picture. Okay. Now you have to go faster. Now number 4 is, suppose drawing. 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 Okay. So I hope after practicing in this way, you can make it out successfully. Okay, babies. So that's all about our dictation class. Now let us go through some more difficult one. Not difficult, actually large, I better say. If I say that I would like to have an apple. I would like to have an apple. Now you also repeat the same. I would like to have an apple. Now write it down faster. I would like to have an apple. Okay. Now after writing, what's the next step? After writing, see, I have written I would like to have an apple. Now what's the next step? Remember, the next step is, please give it a revision. I is correctly placed here. Then would, is there anything wrong in the spelling? No. W-O-U-L-D, would. Then like, L-I-K-E, it's also right. Then to, T-O, then have, H-A-V-E, have. Then an, apple, A-P-P-L-E. So the next, apparently there's nothing wrong. I can't find anything wrong in that. So now the last step is what? Before having any other word or sentence, we will recheck it. That means I would like to have an apple. Now we are done. Now you can say your teacher that, Miss, I am done. So now coming to the next one. If I give you some more imperative sentences, see, please try to practice assertive sentence and imperative sentence and interrogative sentences. these three type of sentences are very much useful for your dictation test. Okay, so if I give you an order that shut the door, okay, shut the door, okay. Now give it a revision. Shut, S-H-U-T, shut is correctly written than the door, okay. So in this way, as soon as you hear one sentence, you have to write it down within 45 seconds, okay baby. So it's the tricks actually. So I hope we are done with our dictation class. So the tricks is that please try to go through the assertive, imperative and interrogative sentences, so that it will be very much easier to you. And so follow the steps. This is nothing impossible for you, and please don't be panicked about your exam. Everything is not meant for only for your exam, okay. Learn it with full enthusiasm, so that it will last for in your mind for a long time, okay babies. So I know that you can make it out. I have that faith on you. So we will meet very soon with a new topic. So till then, stay well and take care.